Welcome back to the Battles Between. In a battle between Sentry, the being who possesses the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, and Galactus, the world Devourer, even in their basic forms, both characters represent two completely different extremes of absolute power. On one side is the product of a mad scientific experiment, a psychological mutation possessing godlike power, but imprisoned within the confines of his own mind. On the other is the embodiment of the laws of nature, an ancient entity who existed before the current universe was born, bearing the responsibility of maintaining the balance of all things. To understand who would ultimately be left standing when the Golden Angel and the Purple Giant face each other, we need to delve into their origins, the nature of their powers, their psychology, and most importantly, their battles. Let's begin. First is Sentry and the Void. Robert Reynolds, better known to the world as Sentry, did not begin his story on a distant planet or through divine bloodline, but in a secret laboratory where scientists were attempting to recreate and perfect the super soldier serum formula that created Captain America. Robert, a drug addict and petty thief, accidentally broke into the laboratory and drank the most perfected version of this serum. The chemical reaction and energy that followed immediately transformed him at the molecular level, granting him power described as being equivalent to 1,000,000 exploding suns. However, this power did not simply grant him superhuman abilities. It also came with a terrifying psychological curse. To protect the world from his own dark side, Robert used his reality manipulation abilities to completely erase Sentry's existence from the minds of every living being on Earth, including himself, creating a massive void in memory and a world where no one remembered its greatest hero. Sentry's powers are often misunderstood as being nothing more than super strength, flight, and the ability to fire energy beams. In reality, the source of his power lies in his ability to manipulate molecules on an extremely high level, similar to Molecule Man, but controlled through his subconscious and emotion. Sentry's body is not entirely biological. It is a photonic energy structure encased within a molecular shell that he maintains himself. This explains why he can survive attacks capable of tearing planets apart, and why he can regenerate his body even after being completely destroyed at the atomic level. Sentry can fly at speeds far beyond light, travel between galaxies in an instant, and create energy fields capable of withstanding the pressure of a neutron star's core. He can turn blood into water, break matter down into dust, and even resurrect the dead by rewriting reality. However, Sentry's most terrifying weapon and symbol does not lie in his radiant golden angelic form, but in the Void, a dark entity that exists alongside him and represents his opposite. The Void is not merely an alternate personality or a case of multiple personality disorder. It is a cosmic entity, an angel of death, a dark force born from every act of kindness Sentry performs. For every life Sentry saves, the Void takes another life in the most brutal and horrifying ways imaginable. The Void possesses power far beyond even Sentry's, including the ability to wield dark magic, manipulate the minds of billions of people at once, create dark tendrils capable of tearing through space and time, and spread a psychological virus that plunges the entire world into depression and despair. The Void is immune to ordinary physical and energy attacks and can only be defeated by entities possessing magical or reality, altering power on a multiversal level. When fighting, Sentry often does not use the full extent of his power because of his overwhelming fear that he will lose control and unleash the Void. He usually fights like a traditional superhero, relying on his fists and energy beam. But when he is pushed to the brink, or when the Void takes control, Sentry becomes an unstoppable nightmare. He does not fight with martial arts techniques, but through the absolute overwhelming force of his power and the brutality of his instincts. Sentry's battles against formidable enemies have proven his immense power and terrifying nature. One of his most famous and brutal battles took place during the World War Hulk event, when he faced World Breaker Hulk. Hulk was at the peak of his rage, possessing enough power to destroy planets with a single step. When the two most powerful beings on Earth collided, the resulting energy explosion leveled the entire city of New York. Throughout the battle, Sentry was brutally beaten by Hulk again and again, but he remained unharmed. Eventually, when Sentry decided to stop holding back his power, he flew straight through Hulk, creating a massive energy explosion that left both of them exhausted and reduced them to their human form. Another battle that demonstrated Sentry's sheer brutality was his confrontation with Ares, the god of war of Olympus. Ares was an immortal warrior with divine strength and thousands of years of combat experience. In a moment of losing control, Sentry flew in, grabbed Ares, carried him straight into the stratosphere, and with his bare hands, tore the immortal god of war's body in half before the horrified eyes of the other heroes. Sentry also faced Knull, the god of the symbiotes, and the creator of Gore, the god Butcher. Knull was an ancient entity who existed before the universe was created, possessing dark power capable of engulfing galaxies. When the Void confronted Knull, a battle between two forces of darkness unfolded. The Void, as a magical and psychological entity, completely overwhelmed Knull, tearing apart his tendrils and proving that even the most ancient dark gods must fear the darkness that exists within Robert Reynolds' mind. One of the clearest demonstrations of Sentry's reality manipulation abilities was his encounter with Molecule Man, one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse who can control every molecule in existence. Molecule Man admitted that Sentry's power was far beyond his understanding, and Sentry could even create an entirely new reality in which he was an ordinary man. This confirms that Sentry is not merely a walking energy battery, but an entity capable of rewriting the source code of the universe, even though he is often too afraid to use that power. However, Sentry has critical weaknesses that are not physical, but psychological. He suffers from schizophrenia, a fear of the void, and a deep sense of guilt. His mind is a chaotic labyrinth, making him vulnerable to manipulation by enemies who understand psychology or magic. This instability often causes Sentry to defeat himself before his enemies ever have the chance to do it. Now, let's move on to Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. Galactus, whose real name is Galon, is neither an alien nor a god. He is a constant of the universe, a cosmic entity who existed before the Big Bang gave birth to the current Marvel universe. Galactus' origins trace back to the sixth cosmos, a multiverse that had reached the end of its existence. Galen was a scientist and explorer from the planet Ta, home to the most advanced civilization in the old universe. When the universe began collapsing in on itself due to an unstoppable cosmic catastrophe, Galen and the remaining survivors attempted to find a way to save it, but they failed. In the final moments of the universe, as everything was being compressed into a singularity, Galen piloted his ship directly into the heart of the Big Bang. Instead of being incinerated, he was approached by the sentience of the cosmos, the consciousness of the old universe itself. The two entities merged together, and Galan fell into a sleep that lasted for billions of years inside a cosmic egg, incubating and being reborn alongside the birth of the seventh cosmos. When Galan awoke, he had become Galactus, a colossal entity carrying within him the power cosmic, the most primordial and powerful source of energy in the new universe. The power cosmic is not merely a form of energy that can be used to fire lasers or create force fields. It is the power to control the source code of reality itself. With the power cosmic, Galactus can manipulate matter and energy on a planetary or galactic scale, bend space and time, travel across dimensions, read and control the minds of billions of beings simultaneously, and create life. He can alter his size from that of an ordinary man to a form larger than an entire galaxy. He can create heralds, messengers granted a fraction of the power cosmic to search for planets for him to consume. Galactus' physical strength is immeasurable. He possesses immense strength, incredible speed, and absolute durability. His body is composed of an unknown form of cosmic matter, making him immune to all forms of physical and energy attacks, and even low-level magic. However, Galactus rarely engages in close combat. He usually uses the power cosmic to disintegrate his enemies at the atomic level, or simply devours them within his colossal body. Galactus' most defining trait, and also his greatest tragedy, is his cosmic hunger. To sustain his existence and prevent his body from collapsing, Galactus must constantly consume the biological energy of planets. This is not an act of evil or cruelty, but an absolute biological and cosmological necessity. Galactus is part of a trinity of abstract entities that maintain the balance of the multiverse alongside eternity and death. His existence prevents the excessive growth of other cosmic entities and ensures that the universe does not fall into a state of stagnation. If Galactus were to die, the balance would be broken, and even more terrifying entities, such as Abraxas, the embodiment of absolute destruction, would be unleashed to destroy the entire multiverse. Galactus exists on an entirely different level. He does not fight for glory, hatred, or personal survival. He fights for the existence of the laws of nature themselves. He is often indifferent toward lesser enemies, such as Earth's superheroes, only taking action when they interfere with his feeding or threaten the existence of the universe. Galactus's battles against formidable enemies have become epic legends throughout the universe. His greatest battle came when he faced Odin, the All-Father of Asgard. When Galactus came to Earth to consume it, Odin gathered the full might of Asgard and wielded the Odin force to battle him. The skies above Earth erupted in flames, the stars trembled, and the battle between the two gods unleashed shockwaves powerful enough to tear galaxies apart. Although Odin unleashed his most powerful attacks, including summoning the divine serpent Jormungand and wielding the Odin sword, he still could not destroy Galactus. Galactus was only driven back when he realized that consuming Earth would require too much energy due to the fierce resistance of the Asgardian gods. This battle proved that even the most powerful gods of mythological civilizations could only hold Galactus at bay, but could not defeat him at full power. Galactus has also faced the Celestials many times, the colossal space gods who seed and judge life throughout the universe. In one event, Galactus joined forces with his heralds to battle a group of Celestials. Although Galactus possessed the power cosmic, the Celestials, through their overwhelming numbers and collective power, defeated him, tearing apart his physical body and forcing him to retreat. However, the fact that Galactus could stand alone against multiple Celestials at once demonstrates that his power exists at the very top of the cosmic hierarchy. Another notable battle occurred when Galactus faced the Black Winter, a cosmic entity that destroyed the entire sixth cosmos and was the true cause behind the collapse of the planet Ta. The Black Winter is the embodiment of absolute ending, a cosmic blizzard that devours all realities. When facing the Black Winter, Galactus realized that he was not merely a destroyer, but a survivor, a witness to the passing of ages. Although Galactus could not defeat the Black Winter through physical power, he used his intelligence and the power cosmic to find a way to adapt and survive, even transforming Thor into his herald to fight against the entity. Galactus has also confronted abstract entities such as eternity and infinity. When Galactus was manipulated or deprived of his hunger, he challenged eternity itself to prove his right to exist. Although he was often defeated in these conceptual struggles, Galactus was always acknowledged by eternity as an indispensable part of itself. Without Galactus, eternity would become unbalanced and destroy itself. However, Galactus has weaknesses tied to his very nature. His cosmic hunger causes him to become progressively weaker when he is unable to feed. When Galactus is hungry, his size and power decrease significantly, making him vulnerable to attacks from lower-level entities. In addition, Galactus is bound by the laws of the universe. He cannot arbitrarily destroy other abstract entities or interfere too deeply with the flow of time without causing catastrophic consequences to his own existence. First of all, we now have two entities possessing power capable of reshaping reality. A battle between Sentry, especially when the Void is unleashed, and Galactus. If we consider pure destructive power and molecular manipulation in their basic forms, Sentry appears to be a formidable opponent. With the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, Sentry can unleash photonic energy blasts with destructive force comparable to supernova explosions. In his Death Seed Sentry form, when Robert Reynolds is completely merged with the Void and no longer restrained by morality or fear, he possesses reality manipulation abilities on a multiversal scale. He can resurrect the dead, rewrite the memories of an entire planet, and disintegrate matter with nothing more than a thought. In a direct confrontation, Sentry, with his faster-than-light speed, could easily fly through Galactus's force fields, attack the molecular structure of the Purple Giant, and attempt to disintegrate him from within. The Void, as a magical and psychological entity, could use its dark tendrils to restrain Galactus, spread despair into his vast mind, and use dark magic to erode the power cosmic. However, no matter how powerful Sentry is, whether his power originates from a scientific experiment or a magical entity, it still operates within the framework of the physical and magical laws established by the seventh cosmos. Galactus, by contrast, is an entity that existed before this universe was born. He was born from the collapse of the sixth cosmos and nurtured by the sentience of the cosmos. The power cosmic possessed by Galactus is not a form of energy that can simply be absorbed or disintegrated through ordinary molecular manipulation. It is the source code that constitutes reality itself. When Sentry attempts to use his molecular manipulation abilities to disintegrate Galactus's body, he would quickly realize that Galactus's body is not composed of ordinary atoms. Galactus is formed from the very energy of the universe, from space, time, and abstract concept. To disintegrate Galactus, Sentry would have to disintegrate the very universe he inhabits. And even if Sentry possessed enough power to do that, Galactus possesses regeneration at a conceptual level. He has been completely destroyed physically multiple times, yet the universe has always regenerated him because his existence is necessary for the balance of all things. The difference is absolutely enormous. Even in his Death Seed form, Sentry still carries remnants of a human mind, including obsessions, painful memories, and the chaos of a fractured psyche. The Void can spread fear and despair, but these psychological attacks are completely meaningless against Galactus. Galactus does not possess a human psyche. He does not know fear, does not know regret, and has no ego that can be manipulated. The mind of Galactus is as vast and cold as the universe itself. The Void's attempt to warp Galactus's mind would be like trying to evaporate an ocean with a candle. Galactus would remain completely unaffected by psychological attacks and would respond with the absolute indifference of a force of nature. Sentry is an entity capable of threatening a planet, a solar system, or, in his most unstable moments, a galaxy. But Galactus is an entity that feeds on galaxies. When Galactus is fully satiated, after consuming hundreds of worlds, he possesses an virtually inexhaustible source of energy. He can change his size until he becomes larger than the galaxy Sentry is trying to protect, and simply swallow Sentry into his colossal body. Within Galactus's body exists a miniature universe, a furnace of the power cosmic, where every form of energy, including Sentry's photonic energy and the Void's dark magic, is absorbed and transformed into nourishment for his cosmic hunger. Furthermore, Galactus possesses a vast reservoir of knowledge and experience spanning billions of years. He has fought celestials, abstract entities, and the most advanced civilizations in the multiverse. He knows how to deal with reality manipulators and magical entities. If he faced the Void, Galactus could use the power cosmic to create conceptual force fields, isolate the Void from space-time, or simply teleport Sentry to a dimension where the laws of physics and magic do not exist, rendering his powers meaningless. However, there is only one way Sentry could win, or at least force Galactus to retreat. That would be if Sentry, as an anomaly, created such a massive cosmic paradox that his very existence threatened the structure of reality itself. If Sentry continually resurrected the dead and rewrote reality on a multiversal scale, he could attract the attention of higher abstract entities, such as the Living Tribunal, who would intervene and eliminate both Sentry and Galactus to protect the multiverse. But in a one-on-one confrontation, with no outside interference, Sentry has no chance of winning. And in a direct confrontation, Sentry could unleash spectacular displays of power, tearing through space and firing energy beams capable of blinding Star. The Void could spread darkness and attempt to erode the mind of the Purple Giant, but all of that would be nothing more than tiny ripples on the still surface of the universe. Galactus, with the coldness and absolute power of the power cosmic, would absorb every attack, walk through the dark tendrils, and use his colossal hand to seize the Golden Angel. Sentry's immortality would be neutralized by Galactus's ability to absorb energy on a cosmic scale. Robert Reynolds would be crushed, not by hatred, but by the unavoidable weight of a natural law. Therefore, in my opinion, Galactus would be the last one standing, devouring both Sentry and the Void to satisfy his cosmic hunger and continuing his lonely journey through the stars. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much.